Level 1, the nobody. You're 22 years old. You just graduated from an Ivy League university, top of your class. You have a degree, a resume, and absolutely no idea how the real world works. You think success comes from hard work. You think the system is fair. You think the people at the top got there because they earned it. You're wrong about all of it. You're working at a consulting firm in New York City, 80-hour weeks. You make good money, but you're invisible. Just another suit in a building full of suits. One night, your boss invites you to a dinner. Private club. No sign on the door, just a brass knocker on a brownstone in the Upper East Side. You walk in. The room is full of men you recognize from television. Senators, CEOs, a Supreme Court justice. They're drinking scotch and laughing like old friends. Your boss introduces you to a man with silver hair. He shakes your hand. He looks you in the eyes for a little too long. Interesting, he says, then he walks away. That's it, one word. But that one word changes everything. Because 2 weeks later, you receive an envelope, no return address. Inside is a card, black with gold lettering. It says one line: you have been noticed. Level 2, the invitation. You show the card to your boss. He smiles. He says nothing. But the next Friday, he drives you to a mansion in Connecticut, 40 minutes outside the city. Iron gates, security cameras hidden in the trees. The driveway is a quarter-mile long. Inside there are 30 people, all men, all powerful. The youngest is 35. You're the only one under 30. A man in a Navy suit approaches you. He introduces himself as the Warden. Not his real name. Nobody uses real names here. He explains the rules. Rule 1, you do not talk about this group to anyone. Not your wife, not your mother, not your priest. Rule 2, when the group asks for a favor, you deliver. No exceptions, no excuses. Rule 3, loyalty is not optional. It is the only currency that matters here. He hands you a pin, a small silver triangle. Wear this under your lapel, never on top, never visible, only members recognize it. You put the pin on, your hands are shaking, you don't even know what you just joined. But you know one thing, the most powerful men in the country are in this room and they just let you in. Level 3, the pledge. 3 months pass. You attend monthly dinners at the mansion. You listen. You learn. You say very little. You discover that this group has existed for over 100 years. Presidents have been members. Fortune 500 CEOs, federal judges, media moguls. They don't run the country. They influence the people who do. Then the initiation night arrives. You're driven to a property in upstate New York, deep woods, no cell service. You're blindfolded and led into a stone building. The air smells like candle wax and old wood. The blindfold comes off. You're standing in a circular room, torches on the walls. 15 men in black robes stand around you. The warden speaks. You are about to take an oath that binds you for life. There is no resignation. There is no retirement. You leave this brotherhood only in death. Do you accept? You say yes. They hand you a knife. You cut your palm. You press your bleeding hand onto a leather-bound book that is over 200 years old. Your blood joins the blood of every member who came before you. Presidents, generals, billionaires. Your blood is now mixed with theirs. Welcome, brother, the warden says. The room erupts in applause. You feel powerful. You feel chosen. You don't realize yet that you just sold your soul. Level 4, the connected. The changes begin immediately. Your boss promotes you, you didn't earn it. A brother on the board made a phone call. You apply for a mortgage on a townhouse in Manhattan. Approved instantly. A brother at the bank pushed it through. You need a reservation at the most exclusive restaurant in the city. A brother owns it. You walk right in. The network is invisible, but it touches everything. Law firms, hospitals, media companies, government agencies. If a brother needs a favor, the network delivers. No money changes hands, no contracts are signed. Just phone calls, just whispers, just the silver triangle under the lapel. You start making real money. $300,000 a year, then $500,000, then $1 million. Not because you're talented, because doors open for you that stay locked for everyone else. You're not climbing the ladder is being lowered to you. But the favors go both ways. A brother calls you at midnight. He needs a document to disappear from your firm's legal database. A contract that could expose a senator's offshore accounts. You don't ask questions. You delete the file. You go back to sleep. You tell yourself it was nothing, just a favor for a friend, but you know, you just committed a federal crime for a man whose real name you don't even know. Level 5. The Recruiter. You've been in the Brotherhood for 5 years. Now they give you a new role. You recruit. You attend charity galas and university events. You look for young men like you, smart, ambitious, hungry, willing to do anything for access. You spot a 24-year-old at a Yale alumni dinner, Harvard Law, top of his class. He reminds you of yourself. You approach him casually. You buy him a drink. You test him with questions. What would you do for power? How far would you go? He gives the right answers. You hand him a black card with gold lettering. You have been noticed. You've brought in 12 new members over 3 years. Each one owes their career to you. Each one is loyal to you. You're building your own power base within the Brotherhood. This is how it works. The more people who owe you, the more powerful you become. But you're also learning something dark. Not every recruit makes it. A young lawyer you recruited 2 years ago got cold feet. He wanted out. He threatened to go to a journalist. He disappeared from public life within a week. Lost his job. Lost his law license. His girlfriend left him. His bank accounts were frozen. The Brotherhood didn't touch him physically. They didn't need to. They just made phone calls. Within 7 days, he went from a rising star to a ghost. You saw it happen. You said nothing. You couldn't. Level 6. The Inner Circle. You're 42. You've been a brother for 20 years. The warden calls you to a private meeting. Just 3 men in a room. He tells you something that changes everything. The Brotherhood has 3 layers. The outer layer is what you've known for 20 years. Dinners, networking, favors, business deals. The middle layer is politics. The Brotherhood decides which candidates get funding, which bills get passed, which judges get appointed. You're being invited into this layer now. He slides a folder across the table. Inside are files on 6 congressional candidates running in the next election. 3 Democrats, 3 Republicans. It doesn't matter which party. The Brotherhood funds both sides. Whoever wins owes them. Your job is to manage the donations. You set up shell companies that funnel money to super PACs. The candidates never know where the money comes from. They just know that someone powerful is backing them, and when they win, they answer the phone when the Brotherhood calls. You're making $5 million a year now. You have houses in 3 states. You sit on the boards of 4 companies. You play golf with senators. The President of the United States knows your name, not because you're famous, because someone whispered it to him. But there's a 3rd layer. The warden mentions it once. The founders, the 13, the ones who built this over 2 centuries ago. Their families still control the core. You've never met them. You probably never will. They don't attend dinners. They don't shake hands. They just decide, and their decisions shape nations. Level 7, the Gatekeeper. You're 50. The warden retires. You're chosen to replace him. You are now the Gatekeeper. You run the outer and middle layers of the Brotherhood. 300 members across the country answer to you. You decide who gets invited. You decide who gets promoted. You decide who gets destroyed. A tech billionaire wants in. He's worth $40 billion. He thinks his money makes him powerful. You make him wait 6 months. You make him attend 4 dinners without speaking to anyone important. You make him understand that in this room, his money means nothing. Loyalty means everything. He passes. You let him in. A sitting governor is causing problems. He's pushing an investigation into one of the Brotherhood's shell companies. You make 2 phone calls. The first is to a newspaper editor who is a brother. The next morning, a story breaks about the governor's affair with a staff member. The investigation dies. The governor resigns 3 months later. You didn't threaten anyone. You didn't break any laws. You just made phone calls. That is the real power. Not guns, not money, information, connections, the ability to make one call and reshape reality. Level 8, the Shadow. You're 60. You've controlled the Brotherhood for 10 years. But now you realize the truth. You're not at the top. You never were. The 13 families above you make the real decisions. They decided the last 3 presidents. They decided which countries get financial aid and which ones get sanctions. They decided which companies get government contracts worth billions. You've met one of them once. An old man in a wheelchair in a house in Virginia. He didn't shake your hand. He just looked at you and nodded. That nod meant more than any contract or handshake in your entire life. You realize something. You're not a leader, you're a manager, a very well paid manager, but a manager nonetheless. The real power sits above you, silent, ancient, untouchable. You can't leave. You know too much. Every president, every scandal, every buried secret. If you tried to walk away, you'd end up like that young lawyer. Or worse, you're trapped in a golden cage with the most powerful people on Earth, and none of you are free. Level 9, the end. You're 73, you're sitting in your study, it's raining. You look at the silver triangle pin on your desk. You've worn it for 51 years. You think about the kid you were, 22 years old, working 80 hours a week, thinking hard work was the answer. You have everything. Hundreds of millions of dollars. Properties across the world. Presidents have your phone number. But your daughter hasn't spoken to you in 15 years. She figured out what you were. She called you a monster. You couldn't argue with her. Your phone rings. It's a brother. A young one. He's excited. He found a recruit. 22 years old. Top of his class. Smart. Ambitious. Hungry. He's perfect, the young brother says. Should I approach him? You look at the pin. You think about the oath. The blood on the book, the power, the loneliness, the cage. You close your eyes, send him the card, you say, and the cycle begins again.